Hey guys, welcome to another live lounge, and this is really cool. I've been excited about this one, so we're able to lock this down. I have been friends with Chuck Wicks since he started actually in the industry. I think it was probably one of his first radio visits many years ago, and he's just an all around good guy. Now you think about this. The guy he's done just a little bit of everything. I mean, on top of the music, man, this guy is a busy dude. And on top of having brand new music out, which we're going to talk with him about that and talk about just what life has been. He's had a lot of life things happen. So we're going to get in and dig into that. And we'll see the video for his new song called Old With You. If you haven't done that, here's what I'm going to do. Go to Chuck's YouTube page. And Chuck Wicks has his own YouTube page. Go and stream the video. And we're going to give you a chance so you can see the video, but we want you to go stream that video. And so I'll be reminding you that throughout the show tonight. So make sure you go to Chuck's YouTube page and do that and show him some love. It is greatly appreciated that you're going to take some time to be here tonight. Chuck, like I said, he's been doing quite a bit, got a podcast. We're going to talk to him about that and make sure you know how to find him. He has got a lot of great guests that he brings on the podcast, and a lot of people, a lot of friends, but it's nice to see him doing well. So let's bring the man in himself, because why not? Let's get this thing going. Chuck Wicks, what are you doing?
What is up? I love the countdown to your show because I felt like I should start stretching. I was like,
like getting ready, like you know, stuff's getting ready to go down. You got 30 seconds.
I know. I was like, oh, here we go.
Oh yeah. I mean, you should already warmed up. You just got off the Peloton, so I mean.
I know. We were testing to make sure that my video was working, and I go, bro, I'm a little flushed. I did some Peloton work today. You said it was funny when you were saying I'm a busy guy. I've been going at it. Well, now that I have a baby boy. Super busy on hours, as you know, on hours that I don't expect to be busy during the day. But I got up early this morning. I had some interviews to do, doing the interview for a new show that I'm doing on the Circle Network, which is where you find like the Grand Ole Opry and stuff.
Yep.
We haven't announced it yet, but it's going to be a show that's never been done before, and cartoons are involved. So that's all I can say.
Cartoons are involved.
Involved, and major stars are involved. So I did that today, and then I came home, and my wife and I, Entertainment Tonight took over our house, and we gave him a tour of the house, and we talked about Tucker, our little boy, and then the new music, of course. So, and then I'm like, all right, you guys got to get out of here. I got Scott waiting for me on the other line here. So I kicked out Entertainment Tonight for you.
It makes me feel good. That makes me feel good. And when I was telling everybody when we got started, I think it was maybe your third or fourth radio visit when you started. And so I kind of feel like I kind of been with you since day one. We've had a lot of interaction throughout the years through your music career, and we worked for the same radio company for a while. For a lot of people who don't realize, and probably most of your fans who are on here know, you had a radio show. You were on a very popular radio show in Nashville.
Yeah, it was called a lot of different things. It was called the Blair Garner Show.
You had three names, right? At one point, was it three different names that you were on under?
Yes, I think it started off with the Blair Garner Show. Then it was Blair, Terry, and Chuck. God, is that right? Terry Clark did it.
Yeah, Terry Clark was on there for a minute.
Blair, Kelly, and Chuck. Then it was Ty, Kelly, and Chuck. And then it was just the Ty Bentley Show. So it was like so many different forms of that show. But I survived all of the forms.
You got all of them. You stayed till the very bitter end. So
bitter end, that's a great
that's a great phrase. From that company, it's a great phrase.
Yeah.
Trust me. I was serving in another town, but believe me, I completely felt your pain. Well, I gotta say, what did you take away from that, from the radio part of it? I mean, I know music. You music is your thing, right. But what did you take away from the radio part? Because I remember you and I had a conversation about this. Because you said you were interested in radio before the show even came about. Right. So what did you take away from that, from all of the radio stuff now?
So I've always loved the music business, right? I've always loved the business part, the aspect of it, because I know there's life after being an artist, you know? So, and I'm not saying my artistry is done by any means because I just signed a new record deal, but I know that as you get, whoop, whoop, my third, this is my third record deal. Third time's a charm.
Yep.
So I just remember, like, I knew I wanted to be in different facets of the music business. Whether that was radio, whether I end up, being an A&R person for a record label someday or whatever it may be, it was interesting to me. So, and I love management. I love every aspect of it. So when I got an opportunity to jump into radio, doing the interviews rather than being interviewed, like right now,
Right.
It was a challenge, and I wanted to take it on, and I ended up falling in love with it. I learned so much. Blair Garner, we both know Blair Garner, but he's a Hall of Famer guy. He's
Absolute legend.
one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet.
100%.
What a great guy to learn from, right? What a great guy to be a co-host with, and kind of like I said, a lot of times I'd sit back and watch him and learn and be, all right, he's doing this, he's doing that. And then I got to work with a lot of other great co-hosts and other hosts as well. And you just learn from, everyone has their own little niche on how they do something. And I picked up on it, and I learned, and through that, I learned my own niche. I learned how I love to do interviews and how I learned to love to talk to artists or talk about a topic. So fast forward through 6 years of waking up super early in the morning at 3:30, I learned time management. I did learn that.
Yeah.
Time management, and I learned how to get to the point pretty quick. Because as you know, Scott, whether you're an artist or giving an interview, you only have so much time to get your point across, or people will tune out. Like right now, I'm probably talking too long, but it's different.
It's a different format than being on the radio. That's why I always like doing it this way, because when you asked me if it was going to be on the radio, I was like, man, I like this format better because it enables us to be able to visit, and we're not pushed for commercials. We're not pushed. And you know how that goes. It's just, they're streamlining stuff. You're trying to get a bunch of songs in. You got, and you're dealing with, 6-minute stop sets and things like that. I don't like being that pushed. So I love this format. We've been doing this about a year, and we've had a lot of great people on. And I mean,
Trace Atkins on.
Say it again.
Did you have Trace Atkins on? I think I saw that.
Did.
But Trace and I are label partners. We're on the same label.
Okay.
So we both signed to Verge Records, and then back to your radio question. I was able, when I stopped working for Cumulus and doing the morning show, I lost my job right as the pandemic started. So I'm sure there's many people watching right now that unfortunately lost their job. So listen, I feel you. I'm with you. I was right there. I was stressing out. And if you're still looking for a new job, keep your head up. It will happen. With that said, I got 2 phone calls the day I got let go, because kind of like an insider scoop with the music business is, if you're working in the music business or you're a country artist or whatever, they have, the stuff that comes out on a Monday on whatever news broke in the industry. Right. The news broke, we got let go on a Friday, and on Monday morning it broke that we were no longer the morning show or the syndication over there. So I got 2 phone calls. One was from Bobby Bones, and the other one was from Mickey Jack Combs, who is the president of Verge Records. I couldn't be happier with those 2 phone calls, because I knew I was going to be okay. I had a whole weekend of stressing out, like, how am I going to, I got a pregnant wife. How am I going to make ends meet? Because that was kind of where I was making all my money. I wasn't touring a bunch and everything else. So, I said to Mickey Jack, he goes, "You ready to start making music again?" I go, "Absolutely." So I signed to Verge Records. We currently have the song "Old With You" out, which, thank you for talking about it early on. And then the other call with Bobby Bones, he's like, "Listen, Bobby goes, man, I don't know why they let you go over there, but I really believe in you as a talent. I think you deserve your own show, and I want to work with you. I'm not sure how. We got to figure it out." And long story short, I go, "Well, of course, let's do it." And We came up with the podcast that's out right now called Love Country Talk to Chuck. So, and it's doing extremely well. I couldn't be prouder of, what my team over there. I mean, Sean Silva, who's an amazing director.
Mm-hmm.
He's done all of Kenny Chesney's videos. He does a lot of Jason Aldean videos. He's done many, many big giant stars country music videos, right? Sean Silva, Tackle Box Films. I told him what I was doing. He goes, "Oh, I want to film that." I go, "Bro, I can't." I'm like, "Dude, I can't afford you to film this every week. We do 2 a week, He goes, "No. He goes, "I want to be a part of the team, and let's go do this." So he jumped on board. I got like an 8-9 man video team filming this podcast, and then I have Abby Anderson and Sammy Shea, who are my co-hosts, and it's just like we have the most fun with some of the best guests come in. They just want to come out and talk about whatever. And the whole concept is, if you love country music, you can be on the show. So actors, athletes, actresses, obviously country musicians, fans, listeners. We have a number that you can call in and say, "Hey, I want to be on, Talk to Chuck this week." And you can like text us and be like, "I want to talk about this." You could be like, "I want to talk about what Morgan Wallen said." And we're like, "All right, cool. We're going to call you and you're going to be on the show."
That's cool.
Yeah. So it's fun. I kind of get the itch that, I get to scratch that itch of the radio side with podcasts. And then I'm out here doing the music, of course, with the New Deal, and something that I never thought I would ever say, but I'm filming my first movie next week. Next week.
Yeah.
So it's fun.
You said it was a Christmas movie, right?
It's a Christmas movie. I'm not sure where it's landing. It's funny. The minute I say I'm doing a Christmas movie, they're like, "Oh, Lifetime, Hallmark?" I'm like, "I don't know yet. I don't know. But it is cool because I play a dad.
Okay.
My daughter is Reese Witherspoon's niece. So
okay.
She's the main character in the whole movie. So I'm nervous. I'm excited. I've never been in a scripted movie. I've done reality TV.
Right.
But I've never done anything scripted. So we'll see what happens.
Is that a lane you wanted to get into, or is that something you just kind of stumbled across and said, "Yeah, I think I would try it"? Or, I mean,
it is something that I've always wanted to get into, but you got to understand, Scott, like my agent is William Morris Agency, right? So when I go to them and I say, "Hey, I want to do movies," that they'll ask that, say, "Well, is that something that you want to do like full time?" I'm like, "No, I want to do everything. I want to do it all." So I want to send me scripts. I want to do movies. I want to be in a like a war movie so bad. Like if they have a Saving Private Ryan again, I want to be in a movie like that. Good Lord. That is my dream movie, to be in a war movie and just like be fighting, and like that's my deal. But I'll start with the Christmas movie.
You start with the Christmas movie.
Yeah, I'll start with the fluffy stuff first.
Hey, but think about this. I mean, Tim is one of those guys you were talking about. He's all over the place. He can act, he can sing, he's an entrepreneur, owns his own businesses, those kind of things. And then like Jake just did that movie with hasn't been that he came out. Yeah.
Neighbor, friend or something?
Yeah, Jason Segel and Casey Affleck. Yeah, Dakota Johnson. It was good. I mean, and it's just like trying to find those niches where you fit in. And I mean, you obviously have the personality for that. So I mean, I don't foresee that acting to be, that's not a stretch for you. I mean, come on, be real. I mean, plus you're camera friendly, so that's a lot. That's very helpful. Yeah, there's guys that are made for radio, and then there are guys that are made to be on radio and television.
That's right.
It's almost like before and after.
And you have both. You have both, Scott.
After. Oh, you're very kind. I know exactly.
You got the Puma tracksuit. Come on.
I mean, I know where I'm at. I know my lane. Trust me, I know my lane now. There are guys that are made for TV. I am not one of them. I appreciate the fact, but I am not one of them.
You do your lane very well. You do your lane very well.
Thank you. Thank you. I've had a lot of years of doing this. So yeah, 34 years of this business. You tend to get, I just enjoy the conversation part. If I could do a show, Chuck, where, I love doing music. I mean, I love programming music. I love programming radio. That's fun. And if I could do that and then do just do interviews, I would be completely satisfied.
Right.
I love the interview part of this. This is one of the things I live for, getting to do this every week, and every other week. But just getting to do this part, this is the best part of this, is getting to do this with you, especially just catching up with old friends. Because most of the people that have done this show are old friends throughout the years in the business. We were talking about Trace a while ago. Trace had his studio, got his full. I mean, it was a full band. He did it up bigger than I thought they would. But yeah, they set up the whole band, and he played like 3 songs and really visited a good long while. He stayed on a lot longer than I thought he was going to, but he just had such a great time, and it was just fun. So he's a good guy, and we've had a lot of great. I've had a lot of great conversations. This year has been great because a lot of people have just been twiddling their thumbs going, what are we going to do? And I thought this was such a great outlet for you guys to go and get in front of your fans, because you're not able to be out on the road. So let me ask you this. So with this new deal and new music, will this bring you hitting the road again?
It will. Yeah. We are looking at some dates now, late summer, because of course, everybody is kind of wondering, CMA Fest just got canceled again.
Saw that today.
So which is unfortunate. I mean, I know I don't necessarily that speaks to the times that we won't be opened back up come June. CMA Fest is in June. I think that cancellation, and this is me just guessing, I think the cancellation of CMA Fest this year was more about being ready in time, because you have to plan out those events, and it takes a full year. So they probably didn't have all their ducks in a row in order to give the fans the type of experience that they wanted to give.
Because that's a pretty well-oiled machine. I mean, you've been a part of those for years, and I've been to them as well. Those things run like a machine, and if it ain't ready, it'd be hard to pull it.
There's so many events that happen at once during that, so it sucks. I mean, listen, I'm a fan too.
Okay, yeah, I like going to watch you guys play. I mean, granted, I get to go do a little bit. I mean, I get a little bit, a little bit different access than Common Joe, but I still get excited to go watch you guys play. I hit all the stages. I go and watch everybody play for that very reason, because I just love going. I mean, I'm just as big a fan as you guys are.
Yeah. So, I look at that as, I don't really judge that as like, oh, we're not going to do any shows in June. I think, I think Live Nation, the president of Live Nation, who obviously runs a majority of major shows.
Yeah.
They're looking at like mid-July of being kind of back in the swing of things, August. So there is definitely a silver lining to all of this. I feel like the fall is going to be the time where we can stretch our arms back out again and really feel like we're getting back to normal. And then I think next year we're wide open. So, the key is, I guess, is to get everybody vaccinated. I know you weren't really asking me this question, but sadly, that's getting back out on the road revolves around all these questions, right? So
no, 100%, no, I get you, and like not not being scared to get vaccinated. I mean, I've had my first round. I'm waiting on the second one in a couple of weeks.
Right.
Just being around, like, you have a young baby and you're around kids and stuff, and you're around a whole bunch of people. I would imagine that is a priority. And it just would, at least it would need to be, I would think. And the governor of Texas opened up everything to 100% today. So it's not going to stop me from wearing a mask. I still don't feel comfortable yet, and I just don't want to feel bringing something home to Landry. It's just, there's just some things I just don't think I'm going to be able to break easily. because
Right.
I don't think that I don't think we're 100% ready yet. It's just my opinion completely, but I just don't think we're ready.
I'm ready. Hey, Scott, I'm ready to go. I am ready. Get me in a club or something. I am ready to do
Dude,
this.
I will tell you this. I mean, and I'm not just blowing smoke. I think we could I think we could have some places I'm booking shows here for the summertime to play at a place called Starlight Ranch. And it's outdoors, which is a #1 selling thing. And I think once again, I think we could and it would be, a late summer thing. So, I mean, obviously I want to in fact, I'm going to write that down because I think you'd be perfect to come over here and do stuff.
Let's go.
Absolutely, yeah. And I'm serious about that. Well, I'll be in contact. I'll be in contact with you about that.
Okay.
So we met a long time ago, and you had a song called "Stealing Cinderella." Now you've done this song, I'm sure, a million times. Now I'm sure there's a story with it, but I mean, you've done this song at, I mean, probably everywhere. You've been asked to come and play this. This song was really kind of the launching pad for you.
Yeah.
And there has to be you've probably still told these stories a million times, and probably fans are realizing, oh God, I get to hear the story again. But there's some people may not know or remember to link you back to that song.
Yeah. Yeah. So Stealing Cinderella was I was finishing up my first album on RCA Records, and I remember my A&R rep there, the guy that overlooks the record that I'm making. He said, "Man, I don't think we have the first song we want to take to country radio to really say, hey, this is Chuck Wicks, this is his new song." He goes, "Why don't you just go back home, start thinking about what you want to write?" And I said, "Okay." He goes, "Try to write something that that's just that you can own, like that is your story, that is unique to you, that other people can relate to." So at the time, and I'll keep this story somewhat short. At the time, I was dating a girl that played Cinderella at Walt Disney World. So I remember looking at her. I'm like, no, I was like, no, I don't think a lot of people dated Cinderella at Walt Disney. I don't think it happens a lot.
No.
So I mean, Scott, I know you have. You probably maybe Ariel or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I started thinking. I'm like, she was playing Cinderella. I was like sitting at the kitchen table, and she was riding her first bike, bouncing on the bed, looking for a pillow fight, and running through the sprinklers, big popsicle grin, dancing with her dad, looking up at him. In her eyes, I'm Prince Charming, but to him, I'm just some fella riding in, stealing Cinderella. So I had that chorus, and I the next day, and that's all I had.
Right.
And the next day, I was writing with two guys, Rivers Rutherford and George Taryn. Now, those guys alone are amazing songwriters. They wrote one of my favorite songs ever, "When I Get Where I'm Going," for Brad Paisley.
Right.
And I said, well, this is a story song. I'm going to bring this chorus, this idea to them and see what they think. And they loved it. And they were dads and they had daughters. So they related to it. I was coming from a place like, I do remember seeing pictures of her as dressed up as Cinderella on, at her dad's home and stuff like that. But they took it as like, their little girls that were pretending to be their favorite princess and eating a bowl of cereal, dressed up as Cinderella and all this stuff. So I think about 2.5 hours later, we had the song. And I brought it in the next day to my label, and they're like, "That's it. That's the one."
And it was the one. And I'm sure you perform. I always ask that question: do you ever grow tired of doing it? Doing this song? I mean, is it one of those ones where you go, I've got to do it again? Or is it one of those where if I wouldn't have had this song, it wouldn't have opened doors for other things?
Yeah, listen, it is extremely hard and difficult to have a big song at country radio. And
True.
so many people want that, right? So many artists want that.
Mhm.
I know how important it is and how lucky I am and blessed to have this song. And, you know, if I'm being completely honest, when you're making new music and you only got, let's say you're doing a show and you only got 3 or 4 songs that you can play,
Mm.
some, you know, and I think most artists would agree, they want to play their new stuff, you know, or they want to be like, this is my brand new one, or, you know, this is one that's like an up tempo one or whatever it is. Cause a lot of my songs are more, cause I'm a love song guy. I just, I grew up loving love songs. I'm a, you know, a balladeer or whatever you want to call it. But you know, I love up tempo songs as well. I just, the songs that I'm known for tend to lean more ballady,
Oh, it's yeah.
which is fine. It's fine. I'll take whatever people like.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I never get tired of it. Because I know how special it is, and I know what that song means to certain people. You know.
Right. Well, I mean, it definitely did make a mark, and it did get you on the map, and it got you on some big tours.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Brad Paisley's toured for 75 dates or something crazy like that.
Yeah, and if you think about when you were just getting started, you think, I am, you know, being on the road opening for. I think I saw that tour. Did you ever think? I mean, when you were sitting down to write something like that, that song would catapult you onto a tour like that, and then give you a career that opened up a lot of doors. I mean, look, I mean, you're doing movies and you're doing things, and I mean, it's just from a song and a career, and you know, but I won't. You know, I will tell you, it helped. Dancing with the Stars helped.
Oh, 100%. Well, so Stealing Cinderella came out. That was a big hit, and then a song called All I Ever Wanted came out.
Mm-hmm.
Was like got to number 12 on Billboard, which was good. That's a hit song as well.
That's a win. That's a win.
That's a win. And then after that song, that's when I jumped on Dancing with the Stars. So I was on my 3rd single on Dancing with the Stars, and TV is a whole different ball of wax.
I don't know how you did it. I really don't know how you did that.
I don't either, actually.
That had to be grueling. I mean, think about this. You do the Ironman competitions. For a lot of people, I mean, your fans probably know this. You know, the 70-something miles that you have to do swimming, running, and biking.
Right.
I'm imagining that schedule to do Dancing with the Stars probably doesn't feel much different.
It's a lot of dancing. It's a lot of memory. You got to memorize the dance. You got to know it. You have 6 days to memorize a brand new dance. And by the way, you're not a dancer. Like, I'm not a dancer. So to me, that sounds ridiculous. To the professional dancers, they're like, oh, whatever. Like, give me 2 hours. I got it. But to me, it was like, man, I got to get this, do it somewhat well, and do it in front of 20 million people watch that show. So of my season, at least. And it's just like, I remember being extremely nervous every single show, but that definitely opened up a lot of different doors for me, as far as just like a talent goes, right? Like, singing is one thing, but they're like, oh, he's on TV too. They call it a lot. I don't know if you know this, but a lot of people call it the Q factor. Like, a lot of PR agents and agencies go by, what's your Q factor? Right. And Q factor goes way up. So like, how many people know you, basically, is what your Q factor is. And to have so many people know you from music, and then you throw on Dance with the Stars, and then, okay, maybe you throw in, I did an appearance here on this or whatever it is. And you just, your Q factor goes up, and then you become more valuable. And, you know, again, this is back to the business side that I find very intriguing, but every opportunity is that. It's an opportunity, and I never take it for granted. And I've always had the notion of like, why not? Let's go, you know, let's do it, because, you know, this life is pretty short, and if you have an opportunity to do something, just do it. I mean, because you don't want to look back and be 70 years old and said, man, I had a chance to do a Christmas movie and I didn't do it because I was worried that I wouldn't be good at it. Well, your 70-year-old self would probably go back to your 40-year-old self and say, you should do this Christmas movie.
You should have done it.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't want to have that should have, could have, would have, should have, you don't want to look back. Because, I mean, you kind of appear, I think, over the last few years of just the guy that swung for the fence. Because, I mean, look at your life. Look at your life. You guys took chances. I mean, you a beautiful wife and a baby.
It's awesome. Hey, Cass. They left.
I saw one of your other babies walking in on the, close to the floor.
Oh, is my dog back there?
Yeah.
We have 3 dogs, Cooper and Duke and Gunner. And then we have a horse that is going to be joining our family in the backyard very soon. We're waiting on the fence guy to get here for that.
Gotcha.
We don't have a horse fence up yet.
So now, was Cooper, how old is Cooper?
You've met Cooper. Cooper is 12 years old.
Yeah, because Cooper was the bus dog.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, I spent a drunken night with Cooper in Dallas there at Toby Keith's bar. Me and you and Liz Rose. And that was, I say I remember that night. There are pictures. That's all I remember.
Cooper was there.
I think we had a good time. Yeah, I thought I saw when come walking in, I was like, that looked a lot like the dog that you had. I was like, is that the same one?
That's actually Duke, I think. He's underneath.
Yeah, they all look alike.
So now we have, I'm going to grab.
Yeah, get him. Of course, you got to get a dog. You get the dog and you put all the family on. I mean, why not?
I don't know where the rest of the crew went. So this is actually Duke. Here comes Cooper.
There's Coop. Okay. Yeah.
There's Coop. Hey, bud. Hey, do you remember this guy who was drunk?
Yeah, you do. Yeah, he's like, nah, I remember that. I don't want any part of it. Yeah.
Cooper has seen it all, bro. Cooper's
lived. Cooper been on the bus. If Cooper could talk, Cooper's got stories. He'll write a book one day. When Cooper retires, Cooper's going to write a book.
Cooper is amazing, actually. So
been a lifesaver. Let's get into your let's get into this new music. Now, you said you one of the high points of obviously of being let go was stumbling across a new record label and getting a chance to be on Verge Records.
Right.
So I know you kind of got into the story on how the president found you. So walk me through where you are now with music and how you've got a beautiful story with this song. And I want you to kind of set that up because we're going to play the video for people who haven't seen it. And let me reiterate one more time. Chuck's YouTube channel, please go and watch this video.
You want to stream Old With You over at my YouTube channel, or just put in Chuck Wicks Old With You official video. You'll find it. But my label is pretty interesting. They do things a little differently. Actually, it's not really too differently now. I think the way labels are going. But they go by streams and they go by how many people stream it before they take it to country radio, right?
Gotcha.
So we're looking for, some stories. We're looking for so many streams on the video and so many streams, via whatever, however, Apple, Spotify, whatever it is. And if they see those markers hit what they need to, they're like, all right, let's go. We're taking it to country radio. So, or there's also other ways to do it, Scott, is that they look for believers at country radio. And they're like, oh, well, Scott Gaines is playing it. And then we got this guy up here in the north playing it. All right, we're going to take it. So there's other ways as well, but every bit, they all kind of like coincide and work together. So
if you could please ensure that I get a waveform copy of that, I will make sure that we play that on our radio station. So,
when you rub your ear, does that mean you're telling?
I'm telling somebody that's behind the camera to remember that. I'm just kidding. You send it to me. You send it to me. Send it to me. I promise we'll get the believers. You can get a believer story out of me, because I believe in the song. I told you that when we played text back and forth when the song came out and the video came out. I texted you and said, man, the video tells even a bigger story. And the cool part with the video is that a lot of that is actual footage of just life that you've had.
Yeah, so we shot the entire video on my farm. So the house you see in the beginning, that's my house. That's where I live. Cassie and I live. All the fields that you see, that's where the horse is going. We just got to put a fence up. And then you'll see home videos as well that I took on my iPhone of Tucker, of Cassie and I when we got engaged, me proposing to her in the middle of Canada. I mean, all these things that we've just had and collected naturally, not even thinking, oh, let's get good footage because it's going to be in a music video. These are our personal videos we had for ourselves.
Well, I mean, and it just kind of synced in by having, your life together, just you guys, the dating part, the getting engaged, the being on the boat, with your wedding weekend and, all that stuff. It just, I will say this, it takes a big man to put the shot of you crying when you see her coming down the aisle. That's so real. I did the exact same thing. And you don't know it till you see it, and it just takes your breath away. And I mean, that's been almost 20 years now, but I see that, and I can still see that in my mind. I was mic'd. I had two mics on. I had the church mic and then our video mic. And we watched the video. Had been 3 or 4 years ago. We watched the video, and you can hear me go, "Ooh, wow!" Because she come out, and her mom was walking her down the aisle, and I went, oh, wow. And I did like you. And it was just like, the closer she got, the more emotional I got.
Yeah.
And I was like, when I saw you do that, I was like, man, there's not, how many men really have reacted like that? And you don't have there's not pictures of it. But I was just like, she got there and I was like, so, and I did the friends thing. So is this new? And she's like, shut up. Because we're all on mic, you can hear us, and so you can hear on the video, but not in the church mics. You can hear us talking back and forth to each other. Because I'm trying to crack jokes, I'm trying to make her laugh,
right?
And she's like, "Shut up!" And I surprised her because her wedding ring, she had a different ring on it, and I surprised her with a different ring. She didn't even know we were getting a different ring, and so when we were exchanging rings, the ring I had was her actual wedding ring that I exchanged. That she had a ring on. So I gave her one that I had worked and saved for, and it was much bigger. And she bent her finger over because I was like trying to get her ring off, and she's like going, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Just trust me." And so I took her ring off, and I had her ring under my pinky finger. And so and she goes, "Why?" And I just rolled it over and went, "Look." And she goes, "Oh," like that. So she stuck her hand out, and so I put the new ring on, and it was a really cool moment. So those moments that you're able to capture in this video, since I made that all about me just then, you were able to take some of these personal pieces, especially bringing Tucker into it, because I know you and I shared that as well. You guys wanted to have a baby.
Yeah, oh yeah, really bad. Did the IVF journey, and it was one of those things where it's like you go your whole life, you're like, I don't, having fun, and you're like, I don't want kids yet, and then all of a sudden you just think you can snap your fingers and be like, all right, let's have kids, and
let's do it.
It's not. It's all that is in the Lord's hands. We don't make those decisions. These are
100%, and we were in the same boat. Landry was a 15-year journey. Landry was a huge 15-year journey. And in the interim, we lost 3. And believe me, I understood. And we went through several disappointments. I mean, there was a lot of disappointments. We just thought it was never going to happen. And then when the last try, Candace's last try, the doctor said, "Listen, we can't do it again. This is going to be the last one." And as you said, the Lord said, "Okay, well, you've earned this one." And and here he come, with a vengeance, man. He's everything that that I remembered, from at that time, 29 years ago, of being a dad then.
Wow.
And so, yeah, you're in for so much. You really are. You're in for so much. I'm so happy for you guys.
I'm ready so much. I'm ready. Listen, I'm ready. I'm ready.
You're gonna do well. My midday guy has got a question. I can always count on. This is Caleb. Caleb submitted a question here. You are a big hunter, but I do know that.
Yeah.
That's your dad. That's you and your dad's thing, right? Kind of the going to hunt.
Yeah. Yeah. I started, I grew up on a potato farm in Delaware, and we had about, it's not a giant farm, but we had about 1,000 acres that we tilled. And, my dad was a big outdoorsman. He got me into it. And of course, I wanted to be like dad. And so I wanted to go hunting with him. And that's how I really got into it. And, I'm reading his question here. How important is the outdoors in your life, and what lessons do you take from the outdoors that apply? Okay. So, I did get a big buck this year in Ohio. Scored 190, Caleb.
Woo!
Is pretty big. That's pretty big. And I will, for anybody that's watching that's an outdoorsman, it was free range. It's a free range buck. So don't be saying, oh, that's a fenced in deer. Nope, it was very free range. And my dad was with me. And that's the thing, is the thing that I take away from the outdoors is how important time is. Mm. So when I'm in a deer stand, and this might be getting too deep, but
not at all.
When I'm in a deer stand, it's just you. It's just whatever you're looking at, squirrels and sounds of peace, really. It's just very peaceful out there. And you just have time to think about whatever you want to think about. There's no interruptions. There's no technology that's kind of getting in the way. You're not stuck glued to a TV or whatever it is. And it's time with my dad, and it's time with friends. It's time for stories. So when I go out to a hunting camp, it's more about that time spent with loved ones, friends, with yourself. It's time to reflect. And I use that as a reset button. So when I get outdoors and I'm in camp or whatever, it's really a big reset button from me, because as Scott, you and I have been talking, we're both, and a lot of people watching, we're all busy, right? Mm-hmm. It's hard to step away from the busy and just chill out for a second. And that's what the outdoors does for me, really. And I can't wait to pass that on to my son.
That's why I was going to bring that up. I said, this is something you can teach Tucker. I mean, you can and spend. That's a good way to spend time with him. That is just your time. Right. You were able to do that with your dad. So and I expect this kind of question out of Caleb, because if you see Caleb's beard, he's very outdoorsy. And
tree or something.
He's one of those guys that I honestly think could rebuild something with probably just paper clips. He's one of those guys. He's one of those guys that could probably do just about anything as far as outdoors. That's Caleb.
He looks. I wouldn't mess with Caleb. I would.
No, Caleb's got the beard, man. It's power beard. It's the totally power beard.
Who cares if he works out? Look at that beard, yeah.
Dude, he's got the beard. I mean, and that is straight up a man beard. So with get back to Tucker. So real quick, we'll get into the video. That has to be one of those things where we were talking about this earlier. There is just a payoff to having that child, that son. Now, I mean, you're a stepfather as well, because I mean, Cassie has 3 daughters.
Yep.
And so you get to be a stepfather, but you also said, okay, being a stepdad, but then also being a dad to your son, is kind of just the full gamut. You get all of the blessings.
Right. I mean, listen, my 3 bonus daughters, stepdaughters, I treat them and love them as if they were my own. But they're not. They have a dad that's very involved in their life and is a great dad for them. Yeah. So I'm there to support that and support them learning and living and loving and things in life, and to be a positive role model as best as I can be. And And I think that's the job of a stepdad, especially if the dad is in the picture and in
Good.
their lives. So I'm a supporting role, right? So when my wife and I had Tucker, it was a feeling of like, oh, now I really understand.
Exactly.
And it's something that because I have three amazing stepdaughters, I wanted to know what it was like to have my own. I was jealous of that. I was like, I want my own child with Cassie. And when we had Tucker, it was so amazing. I mean,
And the journey to get there kind of makes, it kind of makes Tucker even that much more special because you know how much hard work went in to making him happen.
oh yeah, through IVF, we had only had one sperm and one egg that fertilized. So he was it.
Well, we had two, and this was the last shot, and I completely get it, man. She went through all the fresh cycle and redid it again, and this doctor just did amazing things. She switched doctors, and anybody who goes through the IVF cycle, unless you've done it, you're the only one that gets it. A lot of people are like, oh, you just be here's the one, and I'm sure you and Cassie heard this. Just be patient. It'll happen in God's time. It's like,
It's like, yeah, I mean, looking back, I mean, you're like, yes, God had our back, and he was, we prayed a lot. I mean, we were definitely faith-based and on a lot of things, but it's tough. You trust me, Scott, we try to do it the normal way, and we still do. But
absolutely, 100%, and I support that.
yeah, so yeah, I mean, listen, I'm going to practice all the time. I don't,
Absolutely.
but IVF is
and here's the one I liked. Oh, it'll happen when you're not expecting it. You know what? It won't. Medically, it's not going to happen because we were in that same boat. As like medically, it's not going to happen.
right.
So we required, just like you and Cassie, we required a medical intervention, and I wouldn't change it for the world. We do believe there are people out there that question you for doing that. You're playing God.
No, yeah, I had low sperm count, so it was all on me.
Mm.
It was crazy today on one of the news channels. I was like, I can't believe I'm seeing this. It says more and more men have low sperm count now, and doctors are saying it's because of chemicals and what we eat or drink and all this stuff.
Yep.
I was just like, whoa, that news would have been good yesterday.
Yeah, and I was in the same boat because I had my son. I was 20 years old when my son was born.
Right.
So I mean, we know it happened then, and then but Candace and I were kind of like just the rock and the rock and the rocky place where it's just like it wasn't going to happen. And yeah, it partly was me, but some it was her. So comparatively, it was just so hard to do. And believe we did, we tried and tried and tried, and it just without the medical intervention, it wouldn't have happened. But I wouldn't have redone it again. And I'm just so glad that she got the opportunity to be a mom because I mean, it's getting a chance to see her get to do that with her own child and with her own son. The same way I'm get to see Cassie be a mother to your son, the same way she's a mother to the daughters. It's just a neat thing to see, and you get to share that with her, and that's something you get for the rest of your life. That doesn't change.
Just remember that I somewhat understand where people are like, well, you're playing God. Well, guess what? God blessed us with some amazing doctors for a reason. So
that's exactly so. Somebody had written my wife when we were talking about that, and one of her friends, I don't know, it was high school or college friend, and she said, you're playing God. You're making a decision that it's like, you know what, God granted these doctors the ability to be able to do this for people like ourselves and you guys, and it's not my job to, and nor is it yours to question somebody's ability to be able to help along something that's natural. You're going against the Bible. It's like, no, we're not. And I'm sure there are people that believe that, but you got a blessing. Look, this boy got a full head of hair.
Yeah.
Tucker
Listen,
Trevor looks like a doll. He's got like doll hair. I mean, he's got a whole bunch.
he is. I don't know, man. We keep waiting for him to lose his hair, but he just keeps growing more.
He keeps getting more.
I feel like we got to give him a haircut. He's only 3 months old.
And Landry, my son's he's blonde, and because Candace, he's got blonde hair and blue eyes, and his hair in the back, he's already starting to get a bald spot, like Dad, I'm sure, and he's already got a little bald spot from where where he rubs his head and where he sleeps, and it's starting to fill in now. But his hair was so thin, and now it's getting long, so he needs a haircut bad, but because it's uneven, but. Anyway, we've talked about this video. I want to play the video. We'll come back and say bye, but I want to play this video and let people kind of soak this in, because there is the story. Let's get a brief synopsis of the actual story of the song. I mean, we know the video, but let's touch on the song part.
So with you, this to me, I want this song and the video, of course, but I want this song. I want people to listen to it and realize. That it's important to find that person, and you will find that person. And when you do, you'll know it quick. I always consider myself extremely blessed to meet Cassie. I look at her as you probably look at your significant other, and many do, and being like, what did I do to deserve this person? Because sometimes you feel like you don't deserve something so great. And that's one of the what did I ever do to be the one holding you? And look around, look at us. Now I'm the luckiest guy in the room because I'm the one that gets to get old with you. So I just want people to hear this song and remember what love is all about. And if you're in a relationship that it's hard and you're not crazy about that person, get out. Go find somebody you're crazy about.
And that's exactly what it takes. You have to be able to do the good and the bad.
Yeah.
And not every, and it's what people don't realize. Not every day is going to be great. Not every day is going to be good. Everybody has their days, and you have to find somebody that can handle you, in your good days and your bad days. And if you can find somebody that can.
Meatloaf, come on, Cassie.
The meatloaf, Ma. Come on. All right.
Meatloaf.
Let's play the video, and maybe in the interim we can locate that boy. Okay. So all right. Oh, so let's play the video. It's Old With You. So hang on, watch this.
Some guys get a scratch-off ticket, buy a bass boat with all of their winnings, drive through any little town without a single red light to slow them down. But I ain't ever been the lucky one. I ain't a bet on a horse in Kentucky one. If it's a fish or a break, I can't catch it. Maybe that's why I just don't get it. And what did I ever do to be the one holding you, spinning you all around in white? And baby, what did you see? Somebody like me when I bought you that drink that night. Don't know how, but somehow now I'm the luckiest guy in the room, 'cause I'm the one who gets to get old with you. I still remember pulling into your drive, so nervous, telling you goodnight, leaning in for a first kiss. I thought for sure I'd swing and miss, 'cause I ain't ever been the lucky one. I ain't a bet on a horse in Kentucky one. If it's a fish or a break, nah, I can't catch it. How I got you, girl, I still don't get it, no. And what did I ever do to be the one holding you, spinning you all around in white? And baby, what did you see? Somebody like me when I bought you that drink that night. Don't know how, but somehow now I'm the luckiest guy in the room, 'cause I'm the one who gets to get old with you. Baby, what did you see? Somebody like me when I bought you that drink that night. Look at us, look around. Now I'm the luckiest guy in the room, 'cause I'm the one who gets to get old with you. Gets to get old with you.
Wow.
There it is.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, he was mid sip.
Well, he's, you got to have dinner, man. Can't interrupt the boy with dinner. Look at all that hair, man.
It's crazy, man.
That is. Did you have a lot of hair as a kid? Like when you were born like that? Was that you?
No, not this much. I mean, I had some hair, but it's funny. Everybody's like, "Oh, it looks just like you. It looks just like you." But we just found a picture of Cassie, and they're like side by side. We're like, "Oh, well, he looks just like his mom."
Wow.
It's cool. I'm good either way, man, because I think my mom's beautiful. So I mean, I think his mom is beautiful.
I knew what you meant.
You know what I meant.
Yes. Cassie's a very beautiful girl. You guys made a beautiful baby. So dude, I wish you the very best and thank you for doing this. That song is incredible. And I know it speaks to lots of folks. And I mean, you can tell it's written from the heart and you accomplished a lot of things. And there's parts of that video that just really kind of stand out. Your emotion at the wedding, you guys jumping up and down when they pop the balloons. It's a boy. Cassie kind of jumping up and down when she knew when you got down on one knee. That was really cute. Uh-oh.
Yeah, her hi buddy.
Hey man.
Hey bud. Yeah, her little wiggly legs when she was excited.
It was just there was just so many great little pieces of that. But you know what? Go be a dad, man. Go soak all that up. There's nothing better. Look at that. Oh, you're adorable. Look at that face.
He's been everywhere. Hey, Scott, he's been everywhere. He's been on Entertainment Tonight today and on your show. So he's rocking today.
Dude, well, he's much better off. He would be on Entertainment Tonight. But the fact that Tucker took time to be on the show. I mean, Dad's cool, but we got a special appearance from Tucker, so that in itself is awesome. So
woo,
look at that.
That.
That is so cool.
Right. Hey, well,
dude, go be a dad and enjoy. And I appreciate you taking time to spend with us because I believe me, it means a lot. Get me a copy of that song. Let's get some believers out there because
I appreciate your time, brother.
You know I got you back, man. We've been friends a long time. I'll take care of you.
I appreciate you, brother, and we'll talk soon.
Absolutely. And tell everybody we said hi.
We will.
Oh, Tucker, don't cry. Okay, we need to go. Tucker's going to cry, and then they'll make me cry. All right, everybody. Isn't that amazing? I'm glad we got to spend some time with Chuck and you got to see the baby. I was so excited to get to see the baby too. We get to do this each and every Tuesday night, guys. And the fact that Chuck got to spend some time with us tonight was so much fun. And the fact that you guys got to do this, remember, go stream the song. You can go to Chuck's YouTube channel. If you have any one of your digital download places, go and find it there. And you can go to any place you want to download music, you stream it. But make sure you go and do that. Please go figure out how you can do that and stream the song because that's important. Obviously to him, it's important to his label, and we want to make sure we do that. So thank you guys, everybody that's been on this. That's been a part of this, all the alpha stations across all of our network. I appreciate you guys carrying the show. I appreciate each and everybody of being here. Join us next week. And we actually have a special because as it's Women's History Month, and we're going to be interviewing women for the rest of the month. And in fact, Kelsey is going to do some interview next week. She'll actually host the lounge next week, and we'll be talking with Kylie Fry. She's a new artist. She's from Texas. And so we're going to be visiting with her. And then we have, like I say, it's different women each and every week through the month, through the rest of the month of March. We're very excited about that. And the best important thing, guys, thank you for doing this. Thank you for the questions. Thank you for spending time with us. And it means a bunch. So the fact that you will take this kind of time out of your day to come and do this means a lot. It means a lot to our stations. It means a lot to the format. So please keep believing in country music. That's what we do here. I believe in all these artists. Each and every time they get to come and spend some time with us, that's what it's very important. And that's why I love to do this. This is the part that I look forward to each and every week. And I think we look forward to you guys getting to be a part of that. So have a great week, and we will see you next Tuesday night. Kelsey will see you next Tuesday night with her interview as we start our salute to Women's History Month and women in country music. And we'll see you next Tuesday night. Have a fantastic night, and thank you for watching.